few different concepts because I was actually attempting to make a couple different videos for you outside, going over set work, mostly hide and seek with set work, and I wanted to do place trigger training as well, and it's so windy and the weather is so nasty that nothing's turning out like I want it to. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this indoor space to discuss a variety of topics and just go ahead and clump them into one video. So the first thing I want to let you know is that I do have the speaker box here. So that's going to allow you to hear my e-collar work. Hopefully. Okay. So every time you hear that, I'm using the e-collar. And just a reminder, I layer all my commands over my e-collar. So right now, Jax knows let's go, which is either a release from his crate or from his place board, or it's a casual follow me, like if I'm in my field and I say let's go, I want him to head my direction. So let's go is a release command or a follow me. Jax come is where I'm going to say Jax come and then actually have him go into a here, which is the heel position, and then a sit. So when I say Jax come, I actually really want a formal here sit afterwards. And then here is heeling, so that means he's standing on the left side of me with his head squared away with my leg. Sit, down, place, those are all commands you're very aware of. And then we have out, which means drop it from your mouth. Leave it, which means leave it alone. Crate. Is that it? Is that all we got? That's all you need, huh? Yeah. So I believe that's it. And then I have a release word. And the release word is go ahead. And that means he's a free dog. Sometimes go potty represents the same thing. So intermixing one or the other kind of gives him the same idea that he is now free to go and sniff or pee or poop or whatever. Right, so that's kind of a refresher on the commands. And what you're gonna hear today is me layering my e-collar over the top of every single one of my commands. So to start this session, this is going to be a really, really pathetic version of hide and seek because I don't have a lot of space in my garage. So it's going to be, he is so good at this, it's going to be very easy for him to find the treat. So this is just going to be a super modified explanation of how I do hide and seek, okay? You can take this and put it and do it in your house, or you can take it outside and really challenge him by hiding it in lots of challenging places. But basically, if he starts on place, I get a treat that has value to him. I know you've been doing hot dogs; those have really high caloric intake. I would suggest he really likes these. Simply lamb, or they have simply beef. They have simply chicken, but it's basically Sojo's freeze-dried raw treats. And these are, he absolutely loves these. I've actually been doing a lot of treat training with him to help some other things that we're struggling with, and these treats have been a godsend. So I would recommend getting a variety of those. And then you're going to hide it somewhere. And when you're hiding it somewhere, you want to act like you move around the room or the yard and really try to trick him as to where exactly you're hiding this treat. Because he is super smart and he's got one heck of a nose. So if you just go over here and hide it here, and then go over to his place where I release him, he's going to know where you put the treat. So you got to be a little more sneaky than that. So I kind of walk around and I act like I'm hiding it in all these different places. And that teaches him that, I need to use my nose to find this treat because I don't actually know where it is. So you see I'm just walking around my garage, I'm acting like I hid it in all these different places. I actually hid it over here, right behind him. That crate with the green clay sort of the top of it, it's actually behind that. So once the treat is hidden, then I'm going to wait for him to give me eye contact, and then I'm going to tell him, find it. I forgot one step. You got to present the smell so he knows what he's looking for. Find it. That's not even close. Good boy. So I know right now that he's in active pursuit of the treat because, not the bag, but just the individual treat, because he's sniffing actively and trying to search for it. So if I feel at all like he's getting off base, this was going to be a better example in the yard because my yard is so stinky that he oftentimes will be like, yeah, we're looking for the treat, but oh my gosh, I want to kind of get whiff of this smell real quick because that smells real good. So if I kind of notice that he's fixating on a smell, I will actually tap my collar and tell him to find it so that I get him off of that fixation. They're not going to actively find a treat if they're locked onto a smell. Find it! Find it! Find it! Find it! This is confusion. So we've never done it in this room before. So what I'm seeing right now is, I don't know if you saw any of that. My camera only catches so much in this garage, but basically, leave it. So he's really obsessed with smells of other dogs. So he's actively been going to crates where dogs used to be and just fixating on that. He's not going to find the treat if he fixates and just stays in one spot, right? I need to see movement. But I saw confusion, and that was because he came up to me and he sat, and he's, where is it? Show me where it is. Find it. Find it. Use your nose, dude. Find it. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over. I'm kind of glad you saw this because this might be what happens at home. I taught him in my yard, I didn't teach him in my garage. So this is a really great example of what trainers call generalization, right? Can the dog generalize what he's learned into a new location? And in this case, no, he can't. Which doesn't surprise me because Jax is not, he's not the quickest learner I've ever worked with. So it's not like, oh my gosh, you don't know. It's like, okay, you just need me to show you here. And you might keep that in mind as you're working with him because a lot of times people will be like, well, he knows how to walk in a heel in my neighborhood. And then they take him to downtown Main Street and the dog's awful. It's like, he doesn't know how to heel on downtown Main Street, though you've never showed him. Sometimes, sometimes in some dogs, in some cases, every time you do something new or go somewhere new, it's as if they are starting all over again. And that's nothing wrong with the dog in that case. There's nothing wrong with the dog. They just genuinely don't understand because no rules, boundaries, or limitations have been set yet in that environment. So what we need to do is, if we get put in that situation, like you go down to Main Street and try to walk him and he's terrible, or you try to do set work in a new location and he's terrible, is to break it down for them and start from scratch. Start on those basics that I first originally taught you. In this case, the basics where I first originally taught him how to find it. Clear up that information for him so that he can generalize and go, oh, we do that. The same thing we were doing at home is the same thing we're doing here. Oh, okay. I was confused. So I'm kind of glad he did this because it gives you kind of an example of, well, again, what we call generalization, which is we need to actually show the dog how to be in all situations so that they're not confused. So there we go. I'm just going around. I'm going to put it somewhere easier for him. You know, he already uses his nose for everything, so just get that nose re-engaged. Try and stay in the area where I know the treat is. And then you're going to see a quick transformation after he finds this first treat finally, because he's obviously very confused. I've done lots of treat training in this room. Dude, you're ridiculous. You just passed it. Outside, you're like a crazy animal. Find it. Find it. So weird. Find it. Find it. So this is kind of what I was talking about when you mentioned that he seems like a super smart dog. You know, this dog requires constant repetition and constant reminders, as well as slowly breaking it down into baby steps, because he's actually not very smart. And that does not make him a bad dog. It doesn't make him a bad dog at all. Just he's no border collie. Find it. Find it. Okay, we're done. Please. See if I can't do it one more time so I can make an example for you. Sometimes it can get, you know, it can get annoying, and it's not anything against him. It's just like, you know, you sometimes just get to the point with him. And I actually saw Lizzie do this at the training session when she was trying to get him to choose me over the treat before you get it, buddy. And you like 30 repetitions, and it's kind of like, come on. You know, and it's like I really try to refrain from having that mentality, because it's really easy to do with Jax. And it actually doesn't help. It doesn't help your relationship with him. So like right now, I'm like, hey, can you please get off the other training we've done in here with treats and get on to this new activity and quit following me around and asking me for a treat? You know? And it's like, the only thing that's going to win him over right now is patience. I'm not going to be able to, you know, slam my feet on the ground and pout about it until it happens. I have to be patient and break it down for him. I'm just going to walk this line right here. That's the only place I'm going to walk, so that I can maybe see if I can't clear this up for him. You know, every single time I walked around the entire perimeter of the garage, so it's like, okay, this isn't resonating with you. This is not making sense. Let me break it down by maybe not walking as far and acting like I'm hiding it as much. Find it. Find it. Good boy. Good find it. Now I'm going to call him. Jax, come. Please. Now I'm on a 3 right now. Just to give you an idea of where my e-collar numbers are at. So now that he's hopefully kind of been like, oh, we've done that in the backyard, I'm going to see if I can't get him to do another find. See if I can't get it in line of sight for you guys. So I'm going to hide it right here. Find it. Come on, Jax. Find it. Good. Find it. Find it. Good boy. Good boy. most of the treat training I've done has been in this garage. So when I'm adding food to this picture, he's thinking, are we doing that right now? Because, earlier we were working on down with food, and earlier today I was teaching him how to wear a different style of leash that's going to actually be easier for you to control him on, and I wanted to desensitize him to it, so I used food. I use food for collar desensitization. So I've used food a lot in this garage. And so what I keep seeing is more check-ins with my hand to say, is me following you around the garage what you want right now? Is that what's going to get me food? So I think that's where the confusion is coming in. But patience is a virtue with this guy. The more I work with him, the smarter he gets. And I think what it comes down to is, again, it's not that he lacks intelligence, it's that his prey drive is so crazy high that it overrides his focus. And it makes it extremely hard for him to understand what you're saying because he's in such an aroused, heightened state. He's not fully grasping the concept, right? Because he's just like, okay, I'm taking bits and pieces here, but but that smell, and oh my God, what's that over there? And that kind of hypersensitivity that he has when he's in prey drive makes it really a lot more challenging for him to compute what it is I'm asking of him. So that's why I say that he struggles more than some of the dogs that I've worked with. It's not like he's dumb. I would never call Jax dumb at all. Just takes a longer time for him to process stuff because he's aroused all the time. So anyone who's in an arousal state is not going to be good at retaining or learning information as someone who's in a calm, centered state, right? So it makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to go ahead and start hiding it again. I'm going to put it, I might start by, now he's watching me like a hawk, because now I think he's figured out. Find it. Find it. So it's going to look a lot different at your house, I hope, because this is not at all what I want. But right now I'm just kind of walking in circles in hopes that he'll engage his nose. There he goes. Good boy. Good find it. Please. So, what you never saw me do in this video is go over and point to it. I'm never going to show him where it's at, right? That's not going to help me at all. He's going to start to learn, well, I don't have to actually actively use my brain in order to find these treats. She'll just, if I just hover around her, she will eventually show me. And honestly, me walking around the garage is almost a little too close to that than I'd like. But all I was trying to do in this video is give you an example of how you're going to set scent work up so that when you go home, you can implement this before, because we might not get to it at the go home. We might not be able to go over it. We definitely won't. We won't have enough time. So that's why. I've never done this in here before, and it's very obvious. I'm not showing you the exact steps either because I'm trying to get him more responsive to this activity. So typically what I do is I hide 2 treats. So I'll hide a treat. Let me break this down into steps. And you might write this down, honestly, because this is incredibly important to do it the right way and not just hide treats over and over and over again until he's so overstimulated that he's back to where he was before he came here. Right? So if you're going to break it down into steps, it would be put him on place, hide the food, walk over to him, look, get eye eye contact, say find it. He goes off, finds the treat, call him back, Jax come, place, put him on place again, hide another treat. Repeat the whole process. So those are the steps, 2 hides in a row, and then I'm actually going to take a break. Alright, so as soon as he finds this treat, I'll then show you what I'm going to do. But this is the 4th treat, and it's because I'm trying to get the concept across. I don't want you to do 4 treats in a row at home. I just want you to do 2 in a row at home. Leave it. Sit. Sit. Find it. Find it. I'm pretty sure he knew where that was. Jax, come. So now I'm getting the dog that's not listening, so I'm going to go up on my e-collar. Jax, come. Come. Place. So that was a 6. Good. I'm going to do one more. I'm doing one more because the last one, he saw where it was and went right to it. He didn't even have to look for it. That's why I'm going to do another one. Find it! Find it! Now I'm seeing active searching. You know, this is what it looked like when we first start, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, maybe it was more related to him wanting to investigate the other dogs than the actual treat. So now, you can't see him, he's on a camera, but this is him, you know, this is a little bit more of a, good, he's getting it now. He's finally gotten it. Jax, come. Good boy. Place. So I hit it out of sight, I hit it in this, I have this room that's right here behind me, or actually it's in front of me, that you can't see, and I hit it in it behind the doorway so he couldn't see where it was. So you kind of saw him like moving around and actively searching for it. That's kind of what I want to see, not following me around, not looking at me for the treat, but actually finding it on his own. This is going to satisfy his intense nose. You know, he's got such a heightened sense of smell. So we're really going to help him, because I'm going to ask you to avoid excessive scenting, not letting him sniff the grass constantly, and not encouraging him to stay in prey drive all the time. We need this activity in order to kind of fulfill this side of him. He's actually really good at it. He was not good in this video, but one of the best dogs I've ever seen at this activity. So you're going to notice he gets real good real quick at your house, and you're going to have to hide it in challenging places because he gets so good at it. Yeah, you are super good at this activity, huh? He's like, I don't know what we're doing in here. This is confusing. Alright, so I'm actually going to cut this video short because it took a lot longer. I wasn't anticipating the first, few finds that were nearly what I was hoping for. And I'll make another video later of the trigger training. So you'll get 2 videos tonight. You're being a good boy. But before I end this video, I want to go over the next step. So I told you the steps, putting on place, finding it, he finds it, you recall him, you put him back on place, you hide it again and repeat. 2 hides, and then you're going to long line him, or walk him in the here position. So it's going to be like, let's go. Get him off place, here. Walk him around, and when you're walking him around, you really want to make sure he's not scenting the ground, because what I'm trying to create is an off switch. So what I'm trying to tell him right now is, are not actually in find it mode, we are in pack drive mode. So I need you to go into pack drive, and I'll see, when I see place, good boy. When I see that he does really well at that and he doesn't struggle with that and it's easy for him, then I put him back on place, and then I hide 2 more treats. So it's hide 2 treats, get him back into pack drive with the long line, put him back on place, hide 2 more treats, repeat, always end on pack drive stuff. Always end on the walking around and heel. Always end on an off switch. You don't want to end the session with a dog on it with the on switch. So that would be my my suggestion. Come. Here. Let's go. That would be my suggestion for hide and seek. And really, the hardest part for you is going to be getting his nose off the ground. Left turns are really great for that. And sometimes I'll do even 360 left turns like this. And if that doesn't work, then I'll go, so these are examples of ways to get his nose off the ground. Quick left turn 180, left turn 360, or I'll go 1 step, sit, 1 step, sit, 1 step, sit, good boy, place. Those are different ways. At this point with him, I can just tug on the leash and he'll listen to me, but there's no way in hell I could have done that when he first started working with me. So I want to make sure you have all the tools you have to keep his nose off the ground. And that's what your goal is, off switch. We're not looking for the treat, I need your nose off the ground. And that is how you do scent work. Sorry for the confusing video, but I think it'll help you when he goes home, just in case he's confused when he goes home.